Hi everyone, and welcome to Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate Daemonhunters, which is kind of a long title, so I'll just call it Chaos Gate. So this is an XCOM style Warhammer 40k game. That's basically what it is, and it's coming out tomorrow when this video is being published. I have been playing it a little bit already, and so far I liked what I saw. So, let's get straight into the game, shall we? I think it's actually a pretty damn solid XCOM style game. And as you can see here, I was playing at 4 AM, so take that as you will. We will obviously start a new campaign though. Now, there are 4 different difficulty levels. Standard is the standard one. At Merciful you get a bunch of bonuses, or rather enemies get some penalties. And on Ruthless and Legendary, it's the opposite, as you probably figured out. I will be playing on Standard, I think, because frankly, even on Standard, I was getting my ass kicked a few times. Although that's also partially because I don't really have like all the in-depth mechanics figured out. I don't know like all the optimal builds yet. So that was definitely a factor. But we can do Standard. You can also play on Grandmaster mode, which is basically Iron Man. And we can leave the tutorial on. I think it adds some extra story at the start, but I didn't really compare. But we can leave it on anyway. So, let's get started then. This should be fun. And my understanding is that the campaign in this game is fairly long. Just so you know. I don't know how long we're talking, but apparently fairly long.
It is the 41st millennium. For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. Mankind wages a never-ending battle for survival against the demonic power of the Chaos Gods. But by one force is humanity shielded from true darkness. The Grey Knights. This secret chapter of Space Marines are the Imperium's surest defense against that which the Emperor foresaw would be its greatest threat. Humanity's blade against the demon. For in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.
There are quite a few cutscenes, just so you know, and I think they are pretty decent actually. There are some interesting characters a little bit later, as you'll see.
Unidentified Astartes vessel. This is Captain Ferrani Everick of the warship Holiness of Ra. Geheris is lost. Repeat, Geheris is lost. All Imperial vessels are to withdraw at once. Astartes vessel, do you read me? Geheris is doomed. Please acknowledge this warning.
You have done all you can, Captain. Go, in the Emperor's light.
You cannot sail into this storm.
We do what we must. Farewell, Captain. Tech Priest, report.
Hexagramic wards are under maximal pressure.
Commander, we cannot maintain this orbit for long.
Dispatch the assault team at once. I will join them and put an end to this myself.
Your will be done.
Yeah, you cannot sail into the storm. Oh yeah? Watch me.
The assault team is engaged, Commander. They clear a path when you're arriving.
Alright, so this is going to be the tutorial, covering some of the game basics.
Against the darkness.
Not that they're super complicated, but there are some interesting mechanics in here, actually.
Tonight the Cadium falls.
As you'll see.
Our quest is finally near its end.
So, let's get started.
Palamedes, report.
We have cleared a path through this chaff. Our target lies ahead.
Time is against us, brothers. We breached the cathedral.
Alright, so here are our dudes. We can see a list on the left. We got 4. That's our main guy. I can't do whatever I want right now because, again, this is the tutorial. So we'll do what they ask us to do. Move over here. There is cover, there's full cover, there's partial cover. So that's going to be familiar if you play the XCOM.
Advancing into cover.
Yeah, so full cover reduces damage from direct ranged attacks by 100%. And in a sense, you cannot miss in this game, as you'll see. Or rather, it's not like XCOM where you have, let's say, 90% chance to hit. That's not really a thing in here. Okay, actions. So, characters gain 3 action points each turn. And these action points can be used for movement, attacks and abilities in any sequence. So, your turn does not end just because you attacked at the start. You can always use your 3 action points. Again, in any sequence. Alright, so we will use a ranged attack here, which will cost us 1 action point and 1 ammunition. So right here, the cultist, and we can see the preview right here. This is how much damage we'll do. And this is not like a chance. This is how much damage we'll do for a fact. Unless we crit. Which we probably won't. In fact, we definitely won't in this tutorial.
Face the Emperor's judgment.
There we go. Alright, then we are out of ammunition, so we have to reload, which will also cost 1 action point. There we go. Reloaded.
End that heretic.
Then we have partial cover, which provides some damage reduction against ranged attacks. So we'll move over here. And then, right, it wants us to melee attack. Right? Yes, on this guy. So we'll finish him off. That's 1 action point. No, it wants a ranged attack. Right, fair enough. Now he's dead.
Dispense of that heretic.
Now
with
we'll
your
use a
blade.
melee attack. So on this guy,
Grant them no.
that will cost us 2 action points. Which means we'll still have 1 after this attack.
I am the Emperor's Fury.
And we can use that 1 point to move into cover, for example.
You're out of cover, Uther. Trust in the ages.
Or activate Aegis Shield. Aegis Shield provides bonus temporary armor for 1 turn. Each point of armor absorbs 1 damage before HP is lost. If your knight has permanent armor points, they are restored at the beginning of their turn. So armor is pretty powerful, and also pretty annoying on the enemies.
Gods be with me!
Alright, so now he has 2 armor.
Die, Imperial!
Now we took a little bit of damage, and he will use Overwatch. So unlike XCOM, Overwatch is used over a specific area, in a pretty narrow cone. You can't Overwatch all around you, all at once.
Time stands against us. I will breach the cathedral.
Alright, we can move our camera into the cathedral. The tutorial wants us to move inside, so we are moving inside. Normally this would probably be a bad idea.
Demons, I will not be delayed by these weaklings.
So here's going to be a pretty interesting mechanic. You can interact with the environment, like over here. So we can knock over this pillar and hit the demons with it. Just like this. And there are quite a few things like that. And sometimes they can do way more damage than this.
And deliver retribution.
Alright, melee attack this guy. Actually no. Ranged. because we don't want to take this Overwatch damage. And now we can throw a grenade, which will kill them both. Grenades also have a knockback, so it can be good, it can be bad, it kind of depends. And sometimes that knockback can knock an enemy off a cliff and kill them when it otherwise wouldn't have. No more Overwatch.
The Emperor's judgment, Uther.
Alright, now we can kill him.
Advance
Goodbye.
and train your bolter on that doorway. Unleash your blessed ammunition.
Now we can use Overwatch. It costs 1 ammo and 1 action point. There we go.
Prepare for the demon's charge.
And another guy.
Yes, Commander.
It's not quite enough damage to kill them.
Brothers, I will not fail you.
Okay, so now that guy is downed. And the way it works in this game is they don't die instantly. The first time they lose all their health, they get downed.
Sense dark.
And you can either recover them with healing abilities, or they will come back after 3 turns. You only lose them if they go down twice in the same mission, I believe. I actually haven't lost anyone yet in proper missions. I was pretty damn close. I almost lost them a few times, but I didn't quite lose any. Alright, a rear strike. Adjacent enemies with melee weapons will automatically strike you if you move out of range. So if I move here, I will take damage. But the game wants me to do that. So I guess we'll do that. Here. We can rotate the camera. And now we can use an active ability, Fury of the Ancients. So, a lot of abilities in this game use willpower,
These souls.
and I don't think it's going to be relevant in the tutorial just yet. So we'll talk about that later. But there's a downside of using any ability that costs willpower. I think we'll talk about that in proper missions, because that's not a thing in the tutorial. But for now, all you have to know is that there is a certain downside of using anything that costs willpower. And almost any special ability costs willpower. It's a pretty interesting part of the game, actually. I quite like it. You have to think about whether it's worth using something at that exact moment or not. Anyway, our guy has suffered the pinned affliction, which penalizes his action points. So, attack the demon.
Curses!
The Bloodletter has the auto-defense parry that can cancel the first melee attack against it. So, again...
I will end.
We cannot lose another battle, brother Iolanthus. Both demons must be destroyed.
Okay, so here's a crit. When you crit in this game, you can select some kind of special effect. In this case, we can disable the weapon. We can afflict enraged. I can't see an explanation here. Or we can stun the target. So +2 stun. That's what we'll choose.
Turn to the jaws of your master.
So a stunned enemy will always be crit by your next attack, giving you easy access to precision targeting. That's what stun does. Not like in XCOM where they cannot do anything, that's not what it does here. So now we can attack again, and we'll get an automatic crit. And now we can execute. And executing an enemy will give all your knights +1 AP. So executions are really powerful. Because I believe that will give you +1 AP on everyone, regardless of range. So even this guy, who's like a whole screen away, still got +1 AP. There's no actual range on that. Alright, and we can attack again here. So now we can choose Force Strike. Again, this will add extra damage And like I already mentioned, normally there's a downside beyond just using the willpower. Right here. Yeah, it even says so. Spending willpower causes warp surge meter to rise. There's no warp surge meter in the tutorial, so we'll discuss that once we get to a proper mission, I guess. But basically the way it works is that the longer you spend in a mission, the more warp surge meter will go up, and it will also go up when you spend willpower, and when it hits 100%, something happens. There are all kinds of things that can happen. Usually it's bad, it's pretty much always bad. So enemy might get reinforcements, you might lose some health, you might lose some action points, you might get immobilized when you get hit by melee attacks. There are a lot of different negative effects. So that's the downside of using anything that costs willpower. Warp surge meter. And that is one of the things that you kind of have to manage in any mission. At the very least you have to think about it, because if that effect triggers at the wrong moment, when you're about to engage some kind of big, tough group, and you get hit by the wrong effect, like some really bad one, things can go sideways pretty quickly.
Sense enemy reinforcements.
Alright, we do have some healing here. Again, this costs 2 willpower. We can heal our guy, who's currently downed. So now he's not. Alright, and take defensive positions. Reload. We are almost at the end of the tutorial now. So, critical wound recovery. Knights recovered from being critically wounded will only have 50% maximum health until the end of the mission. They can only recover once per battle. So if he gets downed again, we lose him, that's it. Just something to keep in mind. With that said, it doesn't mean you should just be completely reckless, because the more damage you take, the longer it will take them to recover to full health. Kind of like in XCOM, but you can still bring wounded knights to missions, they just won't have full health. But you can still bring them if you really need to.
Futile! Millions of souls feed the flame. The threshold is passed. The warp emerges.
Your cult is broken. Your ritual is ended. Relish this breath, for it is your last.
Blood for the blood god! Skulls for the skull throne!
That's it, that's the game. We kill this guy and we win. And no, not really.
To my side, Iolanthus.
Alright, and now we can jump over. Like so. Go, go, go.
I will show you true wrath.
Alright. Let's hit him.
Uther, we must protect the cathedral.
And we'll overwatch. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything here, but this guy doesn't have a whole lot of health. You know, I'm just saying. And the other guy has already been downed once. We did kill one. Bye bye.
Suppressants.
Sorry, bro, it was meant to be. Blame the tutorial.
Our brothers have bought us precious time, Islanders. Flank that demon and fire.
Alright, now we can move into range here. While avoiding the fire. And then we can take a shot. So 1 ammo, 1 AP. It's not a whole lot of damage, but it will destroy the armor.
You profane this sacred place with your master's fire. This ends now.
Alright, 2 APs. He's almost dead. Oh no! Don't die, bro. You have to finish the tutorial. There we go.
Pathetic mortal! Weakling spawn of a false god!
I am the light that burnishes darkness.
I hope you didn't get too attached to this guy.
I am the hammer!
You have beaten me for now, little knight! But the war I fight is eternal!
Analysis. Warp signatures fading.
Then the blood ritual has ended. Where is that report? Report? Where is the commander?
He dead.
He died a champion's death. Blade on blade against the foulest blasphemy.
It's not quite the end of the tutorial, but it's the end of the tutorial mission. So there we go. Your commander has fallen, but all is not lost. The Grey Knights are powerful, genetically modified super soldiers. They can sustain injuries that would kill normal human, but they are not invincible. Your knights each have a special resource called Resilience, which indicates how many critical wounds they can survive over the course of the campaign before their injuries require their remains to be returned to your home on Titan. As your knights rise in rank, they will eventually earn more resilience. So yeah, don't make a habit of getting them killed, preferably.
A long campaign, over at last.
Yep, game over, that's it. Thanks for playing, guys.
At the cost of the commander's life.
Alive, he was ever a faithful servant to the Emperor. A true hero. In death, at least his duty has finally ended.
Assertion. This ship remains in crisis. The baleful edict is seriously damaged. There are grievous matters to attend.
Ah, yes. That is why I have invited our guest.
You have appointed him to take the commander's place?
No one else suitable survived the campaign.
Falsehood.
Oh no, no pressure.
My apologies.
They are that desperate,
Commander.
they had to
The
appoint
priests of
us.
Mars do not understand our knightly oaths. Our men and stores are severely diminished. Your task
Thanks for the
is
vote of
the
confidence.
voyage home. It is a simple duty, and once we return to Titan, I will put the future of your command to the chapter's Grand Masters. In the meantime, I will provide what advice I can.
I will also support you with counsel and service. But remember, the Baleful Edict is my chief concern. Be careful with this ship.
We sail for Titan on your word, Commander.
Ah yes, it's definitely going to be simple, right? We just go there. Surely nothing bad could possibly happen on the way. Right, guys? Right, guys? So, with the fall of Commander Agravane, you have been promoted to provisional command of the Baleful Edict for our journey back to Titan. It should be a simple duty, but you will need to manage our limited resources and respond to any threats we encounter along the way.
Commander, could you please join me in the Strategium?
Alright, so here's the ship. You will be spending a fair bit of time here.
One of our battle brothers has proved himself worthy.
Most of
Let
it
us
is
honor
not
his
unlocked
deeds.
yet, but it will be soon. Alright, the barracks. So here are all the knights we currently have. One of them has a
Is a
promotion.
talented Justica. With every promotion, your knights
So this is
ability
the ability
can be
tree.
used to expand their
It's
capability.
pretty interesting. So the way it works is that you can just get these abilities on any side. You always start from the center. So this guy is a Justicar, and you can see his default ability here. The Justicar gains +1 armor with her Aegis shield ability, and this knight gains +5% crit for all their melee attacks. And he has this ability right here, and this one right here. And then you can spend your points as you see fit, and you can move between these sections where it's indicated that you can. So, for example, we can go through here and up here. We can go down here. But if I go right, then I can't go up or down because there's no connection. Now, I definitely haven't figured out the best builds yet, but there are a few interesting abilities here that I think are universally good. And one of them that you can get right at the start, basically, is Honor the Chapter. So you can choose a knight at any range, and they gain +1 action point. You can even upgrade it to gain 2 action points. It's pretty good. Anything that allows you to give additional action points to any other unit at any range is always going to be strong. It's strong in XCOM, it's definitely going to be strong here. And again, you can basically get this with your first promotion. So I quite like that sometimes as an early choice. I don't think I'll be going over everything here right now, but this section on the right side unlocks some additional weapons, because by default I will only be able to use the Stormbolter. And if I want to use stronger weapons, I need to invest right here. So I could unlock the Psy Cannon. But the downside is that I'm not making progress towards like any other section down here or up here, because again, there's no connection here. So I don't necessarily want to go in this direction. I probably want to go left or get Honor the Chapter. And that's what I'm thinking. Because this guy is a Justicar. Melee attacks are going to be his strength. So let's say we'll grab this. Hammer Hand. Strike at an adjacent target to deal 4 damage, 100% crit. Yeah, getting a guaranteed crit can be really good in many situations. It does, however, cost 2 willpower, so just something to consider here. And we can go over these stats in just a moment, actually. So that's 1 point that we just spent. And now I basically have to decide whether I want to go up or down later. So let's see what we got here, actually. Ruthless Precision. Auto, 50%, 1 per turn. When this knight creates a target with a melee attack, they have a 50% chance to gain 1 AP automatically. Yeah, but that's pretty good. And a bunch of upgrades to Force Strike. And if we go up, Rend the Unclean. Strike at all targets within blast area 2 of this knight to deal 4 damage. Yeah, so basically an AoE attack that costs 2 willpower. We can upgrade it later. Okay, so both of these things are pretty good. What's this? Activate to give this ability Afflict Bleed for 2 turns. Afflicted target suffers 2 damage per turn. Okay? And this is +1 crit damage. I might actually go like down. Upgrade Force Strikes. That sounds like a good idea to me. Okay, let's do that then. So we'll pick up Warp Charge. And then, once we get another promotion, we can continue down here.
Confirming this
Alright, confirm. So, let's go over all these stats here. That's health. That's, I guess, fairly self-explanatory. That's willpower, so that's used for various special abilities, and it will cause the warp surge meter to rise, as I explained before. That's experience. You get level ups with experience, obviously. Here's armor. So armor is pretty strong in this game, because each point of armor can absorb damage fully. It's basically like an extra health that replenishes every single turn. As in the base armor. So this one. You can add extra armor with various extra abilities, but that's not like permanent. This will replenish at the start of each turn, so it's really good. Armor is very strong. Then we have move speed, so how much you can move with a single action point. We have focus, which increases the chance of your knight to trigger afflictions and autos. We have resistance, which reduces the chance of the unit suffering an affliction. We have resilience, which is like how many times you can get critically wounded. Once you reach 0 resilience, that's it. And that's the stats. I can't go to loadout yet because this is technically still the tutorial, I suppose.
Excellent.
Fair enough.
When you are finished, please join me at the start.
Yeah, it's not like you're letting me do anything else. So yeah, when I am
Our
finished.
ship is in dire need of repair. We had best set a course for Titan and debrief the Grand Masters. Issue
All
the
right.
travel order to begin.
Yeah, surely nothing can possibly go wrong on the way, right? Nothing will happen. Alright, here we go. Yeah, there's more to this map a little bit later. Right now it's totally linear. We can only go in one direction. Oh no, a cutscene. Who could have possibly seen this coming?
Baleful edict. In the name of the God Emperor.
Dominus, who is this interloper?
Code scrapings indicate an inquisitorial transmission.
Baleful edict. Prepare for my arrival.
Duty calls, Commander. We should open a Vox link.
Inquisitorial vessel. Permission granted to come aboard.
Surely this is completely unexpected. I have to say, I quite like the cutscenes. They are actually pretty solid.
Thank the God Emperor I found you. I must commandeer this vessel at once.
Impossible. We are bound for Titan. The edict cries out for repair.
The tech priest speaks the truth, Inquisitor. Our last crusade bled us dry.
I'm not blind, Knight. But heresy does not operate at our convenience. My
Have you asked?
destination is Koromar Prime, within this very system. Not such a taxing journey, I'd expect.
And what is it that you hope to find there?
This.
Beneath rotting skies, the air thickens with a world's final breath. Seeds planted in flesh and bone, watered with blood and tears. A warrior alone in the garden of a grinning god.
These are scraps of astropathic whimsy.
There's more.
It grows. It spreads. A great dispersal upon the etheric wind. The bloom proliferating. First, then Koromar, then world after world. Its roots spread from an ancient veil. Inquisitor, hear me! Hear me! Hear me! Who tends the garden?
The astropath sacrificed himself to send that message.
Now you understand why we must investigate.
Commander, we cannot risk further damage to this vessel.
It is the chapter ship, Dominus. The Inquisitor has every right to request our support.
It is not a request.
Commander, with your leave, we will set our course for this Koromar Prime.
Yes. Good. That will do for now.
Alright then. Well, here we are.
Corruption site detected.
Chaos detected. Wards afflicted with a disease have some level of Nurgle corruption, but this is higher than anticipated. We should investigate this further.
If we do not
Alright, here's some
investigate the
info.
threat, the consequences will be dire.
Low levels of warp corruption can lead to increasing amounts of unexplained phenomena and mutations, especially if a plague is involved. You must make planetfall immediately. Alright, so this is light infestation, and you can see that mutation level is known, and the warp surge risk is plus 15% per turn. And then it goes up. So here, mutations are... favored mutations are resistance bonuses. Favored warp surges cause afflictions, and then we don't know yet.
Commander, it is our duty to support this Inquisitor, but we should complete
So the objective is to kill all enemies. Later on, you can take on an additional extra objective, which will give you more rewards if you succeed, but less rewards if you fail. But I guess we'll talk about that when we get there.
Report. Signals from quarantine beacons detected in the upper atmosphere, but the surface itself is silent.
Plague, Commander. Send your squad to the surface.
Knights of Titan, you are the instrument of the Emperor's will. Make planetfall and discover if the Inquisitor's fears are founded. You should evaluate your...
Alright, so I guess we'll do this still in this video.
Battle at hand.
So this is where we get to choose our squad. And, right, I can't swap them. I have to bring these four guys. Fair enough. I can't even change much.
The Nemesis Force
Yeah, this is still the tutorial basically, so I do not have full control. They are telling me which weapon to use. So we will be using the halberd, which has a first strike auto, 25% chance, If an enemy moves adjacent to this knight, he has a chance to strike automatically. 25%. So there we go. Okay, yeah, I can show you other weapons. So here are the other weapons, that's the base melee weapons. We have the Force Sword, which has Force Strike and a 50% chance to parry. When struck with a melee attack, this knight has 50% chance to cancel it. And that's the Halberd. Next one, activate to add +1, and we got +5% crit. And the base damage here is all the same on all of them. Demon Hammer. So Force Strike is a little bit stronger here, +2 damage instead of +1 damage, but no other special. And the Warning Stave, which has 25% chance to trigger Aegis Shield at the end of their turn. I actually quite like this one, but it has lower base damage. But it's actually pretty nice defensively, because this has a chance to trigger every single turn no matter what. But yeah, at the cost of lower damage basically. Okay, can we change anything else here? Okay, yeah, we actually can. So this guy has a Psy Cannon. Let me check that out real quick. There we go. So this has 5 base damage, the Storm Bolter has 4. This right here is range, and this is ammo, in case that wasn't obvious. So they do have same range, but this one has higher base damage. And it also has a special, which adds an AoE attack. At the cost of 1 willpower. And Overwatch. They mostly all have Overwatch. We also have a frag grenade equipped here, so we will keep that. Frag grenades are pretty nice. Now, if I want a melee weapon on this guy, for example the Force Sword, I would have to give up my ranged weapon and to just use the Storm Bolter, because that is a 200 ranged weapon. So that's kind of how it works, you have to give it up. Other than that, we also have a silencer here, which you can activate to add Disrupted Affliction to this attack. I don't think you can see like an exact explanation of this. I don't think so. And it has Scatter Shot. Target a spread attack over 45 arc at 7 range and deal +1 damage per 2 ammo. Depletes all ammo. And then we have Incinerator, which is basically like a flamethrower. So a lower range here, but it has kind of an AoE. It also has no stun. I haven't actually used that one much. Let's go with the Psy Cannon here. Okay. Do we have anything other than the grenades? We should. Oh yeah, we do have the Servo Skull in here, which you can use to heal yourself. So bringing one might not be a terrible idea. We can grab one instead of the grenade. So there you go. And we'll keep what we have here, I think. Although I could grab the hammer. I quite like the hammer for the option to add +2. Yeah, let's maybe go with that. There it is. And the last guy. So this guy is an apothecary, because they are different classes. So this guy is an interceptor, and an interceptor is actually a pretty interesting class. They have some interesting abilities. I don't think I want to go over all of them right now, but there is some interesting stuff in here later. For example, Support Fire. I really like this one, because this basically gives you a free shot. It's 100% chance to trigger, and when an enemy is shot within this knight's weapon range, he will also shoot to deal +2 damage to the target. cannot trigger with Overwatch. This is really nice. It's basically extra damage for free, as long as this guy is in range. I quite like that. Yeah, we'll keep what he has in here, this is fine. Okay, let's get started, shall we? So this guy is an apothecary, which means he has a special item here for his melee, which other classes cannot use. This gives him battlefield medicine, which allows him to heal another knight at the cost of 2 willpower. Okay, let's go now for real.
Commander, have your men look for signs.
Okay, so this is the warp surge meter. You'll see how it works for sure. There is a little bit of RNG involved here, because you can't really predict what it's going to do. But it's not going to be good, I can tell you as much. Alright, so our objective here is to kill all enemies. Sounds easy enough. Here's something we can shoot to cause an explosion. That's what that means. Alright, so let's get moving. We have no idea where exactly the enemies are. And oftentimes you will get some information in advance. Now we know the enemies are already here, which means I can decide whether I want to move into range or not yet. I might want to not do that yet, but on the other hand, the longer you wait, the more warp surges you will get, because this will go up every single turn, regardless of whether you do something or not. And you can make it go up even further if you use willpower. But if you don't use any special abilities, it will still keep going up. Now the interesting thing is, once you get to a turn when it will hit 100%, you might as well use all of your willpower stuff, because it cannot go beyond 100%, and it does not carry over, so to speak. So you can definitely like use it with proper timing, so to speak. Okay, let's end our turn here. Yeah, see, now it's up 15%.
Storm.
Alright, let's keep moving. So we can move here, which might trigger that group over there. Okay, here's another group on the left. So we probably don't want to fight both at the same time, if we don't have to. You know, I'm just saying.
I am here to say.
Let's move a bit closer and see if we can trigger this. Okay, yeah. We will trigger them. So let's see if we can do some damage. We might be able to blow them up. I could also use a grenade over there to make whatever this is to blow up. But we are in range to just target it. So let's do that. This will trigger a blast attack and deal 5 damage. So it will straight up kill this guy. There we go. That's pretty good. Okay, the rest of them might be a little bit too far away. And yeah, let's maybe move away from that other group on the other side, because I don't want to trigger them. It should be fine to stand over here and maybe use Overwatch. Okay, that's fine, because they will likely move towards us. Let's go with that. And that's our better ranged weapon as well. I could do like 1 damage to this fella. It's not tremendously helpful, but we'll move into full cover, so that works for me. So yeah, we will do a little bit of damage here. And I could use the Cybolt, but that will add 20% instead of 15%. So just something to consider. There's not much point using it right now, because I cannot kill this guy on this turn, and I will waste willpower and add unnecessary warp surge risk for no real benefit. So in this case, it's not worth using that. And this one guy is not really a threat or anything like that. Alright, I can probably just dash across, but I don't want to be too close. Yeah, not really. I would maybe stand over here. That should still be fine.
On the way.
But I do not want to trigger that other group on our left. They would be flanking us if we did that. Alright, we can use Overwatch. That's fine. And our last guy should probably just move as close as possible. Okay, over here, and we can still Overwatch. They will not move close enough to trigger this, but might as well use it, you know? Okay, that's our turn. We can also speed up their movement. There's normal and there's fast. So you can switch between normal and fast with spacebar. Yeah, one down. That guy didn't do anything because we're in full cover. Yeah, so now warp surge risk is at 30%. Okay. Now, here's an interesting thing about suppression. The way suppression works is that he's suppressing one specific guy, which means if I try to move with this guy, I will take damage. However, if I move with somebody else and I cross this red indicator, this red line, I will also take damage. So that makes a lot of sense. I like this mechanic a lot. I like the way suppression works in this game more than I like suppression in XCOM, because it just makes sense. If I run through here, straight across his fire, then I will obviously risk taking damage. So that makes sense, it absolutely does. And the reason this guy is overwatching in this direction is to prevent me from just like running over like this. So how do we handle it then? I could throw a grenade, that's an option. Maybe not the best one right now. I could just shoot him as well. That might work, yeah. So let's move a little bit closer here. And yeah, we can shoot him. And that will just straight up kill him. Goodbye. So, Commander, your knights will recover willpower when they destroy most enemies, fueling further use of their psychic abilities. So, you do recover willpower, but again, you don't necessarily want to spam it at all times. If you can finish off the enemies without abusing it, willpower that is, it's generally beneficial to do that. Anyway, can I kill this guy? Maybe, maybe not. So I'm not close enough to shoot him. I could attack him with melee. Okay, yeah, we can kill him. I don't think this will trigger more enemies. It shouldn't.
Praise the Emperor. Standing
so let's do that then. And generally speaking, in this game, you don't want to be fairly aggressive. You can't really just sit back and defend for too long because of this warp surge.
Standing ready.
It's kind of like a soft timer on a mission. So you don't have a straight-up timer. Well, I mean, sometimes you do. But it just makes things harder over time. But you don't have to hurry up, you just should, generally speaking. Alright, so we are going in this direction. Yeah, let's move up a little bit, but not too much.
Your orders?
Some reloads might not be bad if anyone needs them. A little bit closer. Like so.
Moving now. At your service.
That'll do.
Yes, sir. Here.
Okay, good enough. Just end the turn. Now we are at 45%. Okay, not a whole lot of cover we can use, but there's high ground. Surely high ground is always a good thing.
On the way.
Chaos stares.
Alright, so here's a group, but we didn't trigger it
The
yet.
Emperor lights our path.
I probably want to be closer, because they are a bit far away. If I rush into cover right now, I will not have enough action points to do a whole
Standing
lot.
ready.
So I think it's best if we stay up the ramp and then move in. 60% now. Okay, so now we can move in. We'll have some action
blade
points
is
at
yours.
least.
What is your will?
One each, basically. Unless we can move in without triggering them still.
Affirmative.
There's no real need to be that careful at the start. I'm just showing you what you can do.
At once.
Okay, here's another group. Right, so we probably don't want to fight both of them at the same time. Let's just move down the ramp into cover.
Praise the Emperor.
Like so.
Moving now. Through.
If we can avoid the triggering things right now, that's good.
With me,
Yep,
my
looks good.
brothers.
And I think there was one more on the left. Okay, yeah, this is enemy patrol. I suppose we can still overwatch, just in case they find us. So let's maybe do that. Something like this. You never know, they might actually find us. There's a chance. Yeah, okay, they did. Let's see if they move close enough to trigger Overwatch.
That creature.
Inquisitor, we have seen the dead walk in this way before.
As have I. Poxwalkers are evidence of...
Okay, no, they didn't.
Yes, Commander.
I think this might be a good moment to use a grenade. That's a perfect target for a grenade, literally.
Your command?
And I haven't used one yet. I mean, I can probably kill them without, to be honest. I imagine I can. But I don't need to move closer. I'm just checking the range here. And we need to keep the other group in mind.
I am here to serve.
Okay, I don't think we need a grenade all that much. So let's move closer here. And kill them without a grenade. Pretty sure I don't need one.
Good. I will need to examine this corpse and...
Yeah, you will. Okay, we are at 75%.
Into my servitors.
Do not obstruct.
So here's something to consider.
I will follow proper...
If I use willpower right now, if I use it too much right now, then I can trigger Warp Surge on the next turn instead of the turn after. As in, if I use enough willpower to push this to 100% right now, then I will trigger Warp Surge. However, if I don't, I will still have 2 extra turns. So depending on how much I use it, I will have 2 turns or 1 turn before this actually happens, or 0. So this is definitely something you'll need to keep in mind. If I use nothing, it will go up to 90% on the next turn. But if I use 2 abilities, it will go up to 100 on the next turn. But I could still use the AoE. That will only add 5%. But I need a good shot here. Do I have line of sight? Hold on. Or did I move? Okay, this will hit all of them, so let's use Psychic Onslaught here. That's a pretty good one.
Feel my wrath.
Satisfactory.
And we'll be at 95% the turn after.
To work.
We will deliver them to you as soon as containment is properly
So what I'm basically saying is that managing the Warp Surge meter is a pretty important part of tactical gameplay here. Oh yeah, we are already done. Okay, never mind then, I thought we'll have to kill the other groups as well. But you get the idea. I quite like that mechanic. Alright, did we get any promotions here? Objectives completed. And no promotions, no. Alright, fair enough.
Mission objectives achieved, Commander. Our guest wishes to speak with you.
Alright, let's talk with the Inquisitor. This will unlock some research now.
I must commend you on this impressive archive of demonic lore, Commander. It rivals some I've seen in inquisitorial fortresses. I will require it as a base of operations for my studies. I respect your authority in matters of combat, but I must remain until I can ascertain some solution to this plague. I am, of course, open to recommendations on which lines of study you feel would best serve the mission. I must insist, however, on beginning my research with a necropsy of the Poxwalker carcass your brothers recovered. I am certain they hold a key to understanding this corruption.
Alright. So, here we are, that's the research menu.
A necropsy of the recovered corpse.
We don't really have any options at the start, we have to do the Poxwalker necropsy right here. And then we'll unlock other options.
I shall begin at once. Inform your crew that I.
So that will take 30 days.
Commander, I toil with a critical lack of resources. I request you...
Alright, Manufactorium next.
My servitors have restored the Manufactorum to operational use, but the edict remains severely damaged. Without access to a proper dockyard, restoration will be slow and limited by the resources we can requisition from Titan or nearby inquisitorial enclaves. As of this moment, reviving the edict's core power output takes absolute primacy.
Alright, so this is where you upgrade things, unsurprisingly. Right now we can't really choose, we have to repair the reactor. So that's what we'll be doing. And you do gain servitors from missions and also over time. There's actually one upgrade somewhere in here where you can gain more of them over time, if I remember correctly. I can't really show you because, again, we have to repair the reactor, so that will take 8 servitors and it will take 6 days. And that will unlock construction.
Now interface with the logic.
Alright, now we can go to the star map.
Star map to display our current sector. However, our intelligence here is sparse. I suggest we bide our time until the dominant...
Alright, advance time. We almost got to the proper start of the game now. That will happen once we unlock everything.
The Dominus has restored the star map to its full function. We are receiving a barrage of scanning data and astropathic scrapings from across the sector. This plague appears to have already spread its tendrils far and wide. We are faced with reports of 2 infected systems. We should monitor this infestation carefully and judge where best to direct our forces while the Inquisitor pursues her answers. Failure will cost many souls.
Alright, there we go. So now the reactor is operational. I think we unlocked everything now. Yes. So this is basically the proper start now. I can have some conversations. I have every menu available. Let's check ship status really quick and see what we want to do next. Okay, so we have a few options. We have 12 servitors right now. We can improve our reactor output. Can we do anything else? Yes, barracks. We can get +4 capacity and +1 recruit rank. And I don't think we can do anything else yet. And not yet, no. Yeah, a lot of these things will require improved reactor output. So I think that's what we should do first. Here's an interesting upgrade. Hopefully we'll get a chance to use that later on. I mean, surely it's here because we can use it later on, I assume. I did not get that far yet. But it's definitely something that caught my eye. Not that I would ever nuke an entire planet. Obviously not. Alright, so let's do the reactor here. Yep, might as well. Oh yeah, we can also repair the augmentation chamber. Yeah, I think we should do that. No, I'm not sure. Let's continue the plasma reactor then, but I probably should have done this first. It's not really a big deal right now. We'll do both. Okay, anything else? Let's check the barracks. We'll talk a little bit later. So I can't recruit just yet. That will be unlocked a little bit later. Alright, I think this is actually a good moment to make a cut. So I'm going to continue in the next episode. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm quite liking this game so far, as you'll see, because we haven't really done that much, despite the fact this was an hour long. Either way, thanks for watching all the way to the end, I appreciate it. Leave a like if you enjoyed it to purge the heretics and the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.